And first up is going to be John Paul Rashad Wanamaker, a 32-year-old black male. He's wanted for hit and run, aggravated battery, robbery by sudden snatching, and robbery carjacking. Now, this is in relation to a carjacking that took place back on July 7th, where an elderly man was actually battered in Mary Esther.
Right.
So
this is
if
the one.
You've seen Mr. Wanamaker, give us a call.
And we've got some pictures of the cars too. This is the one where the Good Samaritan was helping this person out and ended up getting beaten and his car stolen and some of his things. So the fugitives people have been looking for him, but we figured
give us a call if you know where he's at. We'd love to find him.
And remember, you can earn up to $1,000 cash reward for information that leads to an arrest, and you never have to give your name. Next up is Joseph Arthur Richardson. He's wanted for violation of probation on charges of possession of cocaine and possession of marijuana.
Looking for 32-year-old Victor Tyrone Wilson Jr., wanted for violation of probation on the original charges of possession of a controlled substance and driving with a suspended or revoked license. Last known address was in Fort Walton Beach.
Virginia Marie Morgan was last known to live in Niceville. She's wanted for violating probation on charges of grand theft.
Next up, call 863-TIPS if you know where Aaron Quincy Ingram is, 21-year-old black male. He's wanted for robbery by sudden snatching and knowingly providing false information in a pawn transaction.
James Michael Strange is wanted on an order revoking bond for felony battery.
Andre Taiwan Clark, and he's a 35-year-old black male, wanted for aggravated assault.
Also looking for Brad Rodney Dotai, wanted for violation of probation on the original charges of conspiracy to sell narcotics, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Last known to live in Niceville, and he can certainly call us if I just mispronounced his name.
Emery Randolph Parrish Jr.'s last known address was on Stafford Drive in Fort Walton Beach. He's wanted for violation of probation on the original charges of felony battery, resisting arrest without violence, and criminal mischief.
Michael Alvin Norton used to live over on 2nd Street in Destin, but now we don't know where he is. He's wanted for violating probation on charges of improper exhibition of a weapon and driving with a suspended or revoked license.
32-year-old Corey Aaron Gilchrist, wanted for violation of probation on the original charges of carrying a concealed weapon and constructive possession of a weapon.
Dimitro Prodkoto, a 22-year-old white male, wanted for failure to appear on the original charges of trespassing, resisting arrest, and disorderly intoxication. Last known to live in Destin. And you see, what you do is if you have no clue how to say it, just pretend that you do.
There you go. You did that very well. Next up is Russell James Alongi, and I'm sure that I don't know that I said that right either. 22-year-old white male. He's wanted for burglary and criminal mischief.
Yeah, some of these names are tough, but Daniel Wesley Arthur is not a tough one. Wanted for neglect of an elderly person or disabled adult without causing great bodily harm, and possession of a controlled substance by misrepresentation or fraud and forgery. Last known to live on McFarland Avenue in Fort Walton Beach.
Seth Michael Berger, whose last known address was in Mary Esther, and he's wanted for failure to appear for child neglect without great harm.
Also looking for Ronald Kent Montgomery Jr. He's wanted by the Valparaiso Police Department for a scheme to defraud. Last known to live over in Miramar Beach.
Next up is Quintrell Rashawn Williams, a 21-year-old who's wanted for violation of probation on the original charges of burglary, grand theft, fraudulent use of a credit card, larceny, and criminal mischief. Last known address was up in Crestview.
The Niceville Police Department would certainly like to find Karen Lynn Alley. There's a warrant for felony battery on a person 65 years of age or older, resisting an officer with violence, possession of crack cocaine, and narcotic equipment.
And we're still looking for Tawan Marcus Frost, who is 28 years old. He's wanted for violation of probation on the original charges of possession of a controlled substance, possession of cocaine, and possession of marijuana. Last known address was in Fort Walton Beach.
And here's another one from the Niceville Police Department that's been on the Crime Stoppers list for quite a while. William Shane Allen, wanted for burglary, criminal mischief, and theft.
Call 863-TIPS if you know where Nicole Marie Riola is. She's 31 years old, wanted for violation of probation on the original charges of fleeing and eluding law enforcement and driving with a suspended or revoked license.
Another probation violator, Robert James Moore, wanted for VOP on charges of possession of marijuana, and Moore was last known to live in Fort Walton Beach.
Christopher James Abel, whose last known address was on Canoe Lake Road in Holt. He's wanted for failure to appear on the original charges of habitually driving with a suspended or revoked license and a bond violation.
Now, Joseph Matthew Gainey is wanted in Okaloosa County, but also in Walton County for VOP on a charge of grand theft. In Okaloosa County, he's wanted for VOP on an original charge of possession of cocaine.
And we don't have a photo of Ty William Smith, but he is a 43-year-old white male, and he's wanted for criminal use of personal identification information.
Keith Carter was last known to live over in Destin. He's wanted as well for a violation of probation on a charge of possession of cocaine.
A familiar face to our show, Mark Stephen Burns, who is 58 years old. He's wanted for unlawful sexual activity with certain minors.
They believe that he's left the area, but there's always a chance that he may come back. Next up is Stephen Eugene Hardy. No photo available for Hardy, but he's wanted for unlicensed contracting and theft.
And some good news, Ron Demetrius Wells has been located since our last show.
And next up, Joshua James Griggy. He's wanted for violating probation on the original charges of burglary, grand theft, and criminal mischief, but he was last known to live over in Freeport in Walton County. Well, you know, it's about time to start thinking about back to school again. But over the summer break, we had some middle school students from all across the county that got a chance to take part in Youth Week. They spent time with our school resource officers. We've told you about that a little bit in the past. It's an educational opportunity to learn about law enforcement. That's
right. And Okaloosa County Sheriff's Chaplain Larry Carter put together this video of Youth Week that we wanted to share with all of you.
Youth Week's coming! Come out, have fun, arrest people! Learn new things! Tackle the red man and the tackle sheriff! Kick things! Learn kicks! Arrest people!
I'm coming back next year. So this was my first year and it was amazing. I had a blast.
My name is Lauren Rose and I'm a 6th grader. I'm probably going to come back next year. I was going to do it last year but didn't get the chance. But it was a pretty fun time. We learned like defense techniques and a lot of other cool stuff.
Combat was fun.
When we did the bearding the building clearing.
Yeah, the building clearing.
Yeah,
that was fun.
in the traffic stop, like if you pull someone over and you put
The felony traffic stop. That was fun. Law enforcement, yay.
Yay.
Good job, Riley. Appreciate you participating. Congratulations.
Lots of people help and support Youth Week. It's a great program. I do want to mention too, for all the kids, I know that they like to see themselves on TV, that this show is also available on YouTube, so that if people miss it and want to catch it again or see something again, you can always go back and watch it on the Sheriff's Office YouTube account.
That's right, and you can get to that directly from our website. There's a nice big logo up there. Click on that, and you can go view it anytime you like or show all your friends. And also, I want to mention that the fugitives you see today on the show, as well as the cases that are profiled, those are all active and up to date as of today's taping date, which is July 29th, 2011. And of course, if you missed any of those, you can always go to EmeraldCoastCrimeStoppers.com, and we have even more cases on there that weren't profiled on the show that we're still looking for information about. So there's tons of ways you can help out, may possibly be eligible for a cash reward, and it is anonymous.
That's right, and up to $1,000 if you can help lead to some of the people that we profiled today to make some arrests. Another thing we wanted to mention quickly, talking about the Drug Task Force, is a lot of their investigations with the Drug Task Force, of course, are really in-depth, very involved drug operations, not just the on the street where you have the street crimes folks that take care of. And a lot of them end up in federal court. So although we do put out some news releases on a lot of the ones that are local that are significant, a lot of the stuff ends up coming out of federal court, or you may not even hear about it as much as you should, because it does go into federal court, and these are federal cases because of the magnitude of them.
And something else we want to clear up, if you do think that there is a meth lab or something in your neighborhood, don't investigate it yourself. Certainly contact law enforcement. And also, if you would like an immediate response from, say, a law enforcement officer about maybe narcotics activity and you want a deputy to come out right away, you do need to call the Sheriff's Office communication number to have a deputy show up. Because what the Drug Task Force does is a little more involved than, say, an immediate response to
Or if you're in a city, you might want to call your municipal police department, depending on what jurisdiction you're in, but you would call them. The Drug Task Force tends to get involved in the more ongoing, in-depth type of investigations. So anyway, we appreciate you joining us, and we want to thank you for watching, and remember, you can always catch it again on YouTube.
See you next time.